Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. There is a private league that's coming up that I thought I would like to bring to your attention. This is not my initiative, this is something that other players have started up, and they reached out to me when they saw I was interested in playing it myself, and thought it would be good for me to let other people know about it. This is the Smooth Group Self-Found Necropolis Private League. The idea of this league is there's going to be an opportunity to play together with a bunch of people with a more cooperative environment than you tend to see in the mainstream trade league. What this means in practice is that resources are shared. If you get a miraculous drop, let's say that you get a Mirror of Kalandra or a Simplex Amulet or a Voices 1 or something along those lines, you do have the right to keep it for yourself, but in general what we're wanting to do is share resources amongst the team in order to get as far as we can throughout the game. So if you play in solo self-found, you generally can't cooperate in a meaningful way with other players. If you play in the trade league, there tends to be a really competitive aspect going on, where even if you're not really that focused on getting to the top of the trade heap and building a merit tier item or anything like that, you are competing every time you trade with people who are. The intention of this private league is to try and create an environment where there is the potential to interact with other players, but there's not quite as much of a push to be as cutthroat as people tend to be in the core Path of Exile experience. That's the intention, and the other thing that makes me look forward to it is that it's being run by Smooth Global, who's run several of these before. Now, the way it's going to work is that there's going to be a private league that you would need to sign up for. You'd need to create a new character in it and start from scratch, which for a lot of people is going to be something that's going to make you think, oh, I'm not interested in this. But for other people, that's going to be part of the appeal. You'll be starting on a level playing field with everyone else. It's going to be starting at a time that's designed to be European player friendly, which is actually terrible for me over in Australia. It's starting at 2 AM my local. I'm definitely not starting this event on time. But I'll put a link in the description of this video to all of the details of the private league. There's also a Reddit write-up. You can have a look at that. If you decide that it sounds like fun, there's 3 things to do. Firstly, go and request a slot in the league on the Path of Exile official website. Secondly, jump into Smooth's Discord. And thirdly, jump into Global Channel 111. Now, I personally tend to use 16807 myself, but 111 will be what I'll be using for the couple of weeks that this event is going to be really running. It's not going to be something that's going to have particular objectives like the Toucan League that I ran earlier in this league. Instead, I think for a lot of experienced Path of Exile players, it'll be an opportunity to practice a different type of league start environment, or alternately, it'll be an opportunity to mentor some newer players. And if you're a newer player, it'll probably be something that's really accessible. Another thing to consider if you're an experienced player, one of these fresh start events is a good opportunity to experience a section of the game that you don't feel you know very well. Let's say, for instance, that you don't have much experience with the Sanctum, or you don't have much experience with Heist. What this sort of private league can do is let you come in, trade with people for all the resources you need in order to build a powerful Sanctum running character, and also for all of the Sanctum access tomes that you need, and then you can just go bang, 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 run a whole bunch of Sanctums, determine 1, whether this is something you'd actually enjoy doing in the main league in the future, and 2, you can also decide, oh, okay, is this something I'm good at? Does this play to my strengths as a player? Or is it something I'm pretty mediocre at? And if it turns out that you underperform your own expectations in yourself, that's no big deal. You're doing this in a private league where it doesn't really matter. Then, when the next league start comes along, you'll know, okay, Sanctum, not really for me. Or maybe you'll discover your new favourite part of the game. Unfortunately, private leagues are still a PC-only phenomenon. If I was a worse person than I am, I'd be rubbing my hands with glee and saying, yes, we're keeping out the console peasants. But it is unfortunate. It is going to be a PC event only. Finally, there is a crowdfunding for the cost of running the private league. Private leagues have a marginal cost of 6 store points per player that joins them. And what I would suggest you do, if you're someone that can't really afford that, then don't pay for it, let someone else pay for you. But if you're someone that's got a reasonable job, chuck in 50 or 100 store points, and that will make it so that not only are you paying for yourself, but you're also paying for a bunch of other players that might be broke students or something like that. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. This event is going to be starting in a little bit less than 30 hours as I'm recording this video, and probably closer to 24 hours by the time you're seeing it. May your Varlobs have interesting results.